Chapter 3 of Fuserborough, United We Stand by Arcade Striker JK5. Caroline, New Equestria. Ma'am, let's make sure our little princess has the best 11th birthday we could give her. Megan's words echoed through Celestia's bedroom. Yellowcorn and her prized pupil Twilight stood in front of a mirror mounted on a wall inside Celestia's private chambers that was a reflected image of the inside of a human dwelling. A pair of bodyguards stood off, both silent, staring straight ahead, ears twisting in alertness. Celestia's eyes narrowed as she beheld the image of Spike in the kitchen, sitting at the human's table and writing something. She snored, with her head straight down at Twilight. Twilight, my dear student, what is Spike doing there? How did he get there? She looked up at the image. He accompanied you to Canterlot, correct? How did he end up on this earth? Twilight's jaw worked for a full minute before she finally found her voice. I don't know. She stepped back. Princess, may I? At her nod. Her Twilight's horn glowed as she vanished in a bright flash. Half a minute later, she reappeared. Spike's still there! She looked at the mirror. Princess, I... Yellowcorn leaned forward and kissed the tip of her horn to the mirror. The glass itself rippled. The image vanished in the backyard of the house. Celestia's eyes narrowed in concentration. The image shifted, focusing on a multicolored arc hanging in midair. There was a sudden gasp from the Yellowcorn. There! She said, pointing to the apex of the arc. Rip in space in there, a hole in the sky. Twilight, you said these are humans from an alternate Earth. Twilight cocked her head to the side. Yes, Princess. She looked at her mirror, eyes wide. You don't mean... Correct, Celestia said. She touched her horn to the mirror, and the image wavered once more, reverting back to Spike in the kitchen. This must be some alternate Spike, different from your number one assistant. Her wings rippled. Tainted by humans, their evils and chaos, no doubt. Twilight's eyes watered. How awful, she murmured. Suddenly she gasped. But it's just some alternate Spike. That must mean... Her breathing quickened. There must be some version of me, too! She suddenly lowered her head, shaking it as part of her mane stuck up. No! No! There's no way some freaky version of me could be a league of humans! The Yellowcorn merely touched the mirror's surface once more. It flashed multiple times, going across this earth before settling on a large golden city, an obscenity of metal and technology setting on a lake. The image zoomed in, finally settling on a group of ponies being led around in the chateau by a human. The image focused on a purple unicorn, physically identical to the purple unicorn standing next to Celestia. Twilight's head dropped. She closed her eyes. No. How could I do this? How could she do this? She whipped her head around and looked up at Celestia with pleading eyes. Princess, I swear I would never consort with humans that are still humans. I swear! Celestia leaned down and nuzzled the nightly Twilight. I know, she whispered. She raised her head slightly, looked Twilight in the eye, smiling. I know you would never do something so awful. She looked back to the mirror, a smile melting away. This other Twilight, though, she's not you. Her gaze hardened, the mirror's frame twisted, ornamentation ripping off. She's not the only one. The image expanded, showing the rest of the ponies in more detail. Twilight gasped, saw alternate versions of Applejack, Rarity, and the rest. She dropped to her haunches, eyes the approximate size of saucers. This whole other Equestria must be tainted by humans and their technology. I don't understand how or why. Celestia shook her head. I don't know. The image wavered once more, showing the human female form before, and the other Spike. Celestia focused on her, memories from the ancient past stirring in her mind. Discord's misshapen and mismatched limbs petrified. He looked down, sighing. So you win, Celestia. His mouth twisted in a crooked grin, but I still have the last laugh. Oh, yes. A stone spread up his legs and down his arms into his torso, because I know it'll come crashing down on you and Lulu. Oh, yes. Celestia flowed before him, eyes ablaze. The whole of the countryside was an inferno of chaos, the land itself twisted like taffy. No, Discord. She spat out. You'll never be free of your imprisonment. I swear it! By now, all that was left was Discord's long neck and head. He rolled his eyes. Not me, but her. An image flashed in Celestia's mind of a mostly hairless biped with a long golden mane extending down her shoulders and back, and a grim expression on her face. She wore rusted clothes, like what ponies wore on the frontier. Oh yes, she and all those like her. Such wonderful chaos, the likes of which give me pause. And you know what? He grunted and strained his neck solidified. You'll see them. Oh yes, humans, Celestia. Remember that name, and remember that face, because the one that will end you, dear. Ha 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 ha! He laughed, even as his chin, face, and entire head turned to rock, piercing eyes to last and petrify. Scar fell to the ground, panting with a dull thud, his laughter echoing across the scorched lands. Celestia blinked, and her entire body shuddered. The mirror's image wobbled before fading out, replaced by a simple reflection. Celestia stared at herself, her ethereal, multicolored mane and tail drooping. She let out a sigh. Sorry, she said to Twilight. She forced a smile on her face to calm her student. Even observing this other world is taxing. After the events of the previous 2 years, my reserves are low. Twilight glanced at the mirror. Princess, we've already saved 1% of humanity. These others, do we have to? Celestia's face hardened slightly. Yes, Twilight Sparkle. It is our duty to help those who need it. She waved a foreleg at the mirror. Yes, we helped many humans, but there's more to help here. And what are these other versions of ourselves? Shall we deny them our aid simply because of fatigue? She shook her head, flowing once more a non-existent breeze. No, we must help them, no matter what. Twilight stared up at Celestia, tears in her eyes. She swallowed, her cheeks turned a brilliant shade of scarlet. I'm so sorry, she cried out. You're right, Princess. These police and humans need our help. If we could give it to them. She turned to the guards. Get the Sarah Riley. Get the bureau staff on call. We have a people to save. There was a slight clearing of her throat behind her. She slowly turned to see Celestia looking down at her. Maybe the princess should be giving such orders, she said, a smile playing at the corners of her mouth. She winked and chuckled. But getting them ready would be a good idea. She looked back at the mirror. Opening a portal and creating a new barrier is going to be very taxing this time around, expanding it even more so. You know, guys, I don't know if Arcane's trying to this, but this feels like a very, very good commentary on how a lot of people put this high attention to Celestia and how some fan tries to treat her. Twilight glanced in the mirror. Perhaps, she walked up to it, head tilting aside. There's a connection from to this other Equestria. Brid's already there. She rubbed her chin. Is there any way you could use that one instead of creating an entirely new one? Celestia whipped her head around. A smile playing on her face. Twilight, that's brilliant. She reached over and slightly muzzed Twilight's mane. It's so good to have such an intelligent and clever student. A brow furrowed. I'll set up this up in a few miles from Cantonat, as soon as possible. Any time delayed is more time the humans destroy their planet, destroy each other, and destroy these other ponies. She slammed her hoof into the stone floor, cracking it, and sending everything in the room hopping a good half foot in the air. I will not allow needless death and suffering! Twilight smiled at Celestia. Oh, Princess, you're so kind. Is there anything I could do to help? Helicord looked in the mirror. Past the walls of Canterlot. Yes, Twilight. Please transport the mirror to where I'll be forming the new portal and barrier. I will need to make sure that when I form the other spike isn't there, nor any of those alternate versions of you and your friends. They could cause trouble, even for me. No matter the drain, I'll have to do this as soon as possible. Celestia turned and tried out the room. Twilight's horn glowed as she lifted the mirror off the wall, taking it with her as she followed the mentor. The guards left, one as silent as midnight and the other as quiet as a broken heart. Equestria, across the Rainbow Bridge from Earth. Although Cantalot dominated Mount Eophis, it was not the only structure on the mountain. Down the slope, opposite Hippocampus Falls, stood Fort Bulwark, a gleaming structure towered to defend Cantalot from invasion by land. It was also home of the Royal Tank Corps' first tank regiment, the Steel Hooves. The fellow Equestria fan in me smiles. Although the front was a massive fortifications with fences, turrets, and walls, the back was a massive open field and smaller buildings. A small chunk of it was laid out for Pegasi, airships, and balloons. The majority of it was for tanks, large and small. They rumbled around, lining up for target practice, and massing for maneuvers as the new tank crewmen got to feel for the machines. A pair of tanks was parked near the garages. One was an equestrian Mark XX-1X, a large green machine with four 75mm gun emplacements and sponsons with large wraparound treads that overshadowed the main chassis, and a machine gun turret sticking out top. The follower was sloped, albeit somewhat thin, with a large engine and smokestack in the rear. Next to it was a M1A3 Abrams, a tank actually smaller than its equestrian cousin, with a 120mm hypervelocity railgun sticking out from its turret, and a smaller laser emitter on top of it. The armor was sloped and thick, capable of taking tremendous punishment. A large engine sat in the rear, an inner globe barely visible. 3 ponies approached the 2 tanks. 2 of the ponies wore the uniform and armored tank corps, trailing behind a third, who was clad in a blue general's uniform. Major General Romper Stomper, Commandant of the Royal Tank Force, stood forward. A tan-colored earth pony with a crew cut for a mane. He was a stallion of few words, but big accents. The human pony standing by the tank suddenly snapped to attention. The human, Jack Robbins, had dark skin, short black hair tucked underneath his hat. He wore an olive-drab jumpsuit with an insignia of Staff Sergeant stitched to the left side of his Nomex uniform. His equine counterpart, a unicorn mare named Blossomforth, blended well with her own jumpsuit. She had an almost identical cap over her head, save for a hole in her horn and a set of goggles. She held up her four-legged salute at Romper Stomper's approach. I'm going to say his name without laughing! Okay. Think of sad things. Think of sad things. Think of sad things. Romper Stomper! Returned Blossomforth's salute. At ease! He said, looked up the human. A pleasure to meet you, Sergeant Robbins. He held the foreleg and sent it to Jack. Shook it. The general turned his head. So, this is from your military. It's the first time I've seen one other than photographs or films. He tapped the treads with a hoof. Treads? He looked up to Jack. Does he have access to anti-gravity for Autobots? Jack turned to his right, following Romper Stomper. Yes, sir. He knelt down, mostly to his treads. Treads are a lot still more reliable and easier to maintain than those fancy anti-gravs the Autobots have. He patted the built-in metal. There are weird magnetic fields and anomalies on other planets that stump those units cold. But good old-fashioned tank tread will roll right over it. He pointed over a dozen tiny discs mounted underneath the hull. We have emergency use for inclement weather and the like, but the primary mode of transportation is treads. Romper Stomper nodded. Excellent! I don't feel bad now that we still use treads. He cracked a smile and chuckled before walking around the Abrams in the Mark 29, with his aides, Jack and Blossomforth, following. He stopped and looked up at the main barrel. See, this makes me realize how far we have to go. He stopped in front of the Mark 29, turning to face the 2 tank commanders. Sergeant Robbins, Sergeant Blossomforth, the troop. How badly will one of our Mark 29s get mauled by one of yours, to say nothing of our lighter vehicles? Jack turned to face the taller tank. General, there's nothing technically wrong with your vehicles. You're built with high-quality materials, and I haven't seen any real design flaws. He bent slightly and knees a rose tin. Kind of reminds me of the old tanks used during World War I, where you use a sponsons instead of a turret. Though, it's nice to see you don't have 2 exhaust pipes running up through the center of the cabin. Blossomforth spoke up. Sir, permission to speak freely. Romper Stomper looked at her and nodded. Great, Sergeant. How bad? Sir, with sufficient ammunition and without access to magic, I'm fairly certain this tank could wipe out the majority of the steel hooves. The armor is virtually impenetrable, and their power source can last a month without refueling. Romper Stomper nodded. With magic? There was a moment of hesitation before Blossomforth continued. We could knock the aim off, move the tanks just around a bit with telekinesis with concentrated effort, or mire it in mud for a bit with weather control before they turn on their anti-grav units. She looked at Jack. Of course, the tank would still be firing hypersonic rounds that would be blowing holes through our lines, taking out multiple units with each shot, and a laser cannon at that. While not as powerful, it would still be capable of one-shot kills. Robert number 9. I see. Thank you, Sergeant. He looked up. Well, we'll see how we do in war games 5 days from now. He got his head to the side. Lieutenant! He barked to the sides. Make sure General Fairborn, Director Burnett Fairborn, and the rest are given the red carpet treatment by arrival. Understood? He hastened up to attention. Sir, yes, sir! Gerald nodded to Jack and Bossenforth, both straight into attention. Well, I won't be keeping you any longer. Carry on! He returned to Bossenforth's salute before turning and trying off, aides following. Jack looked down to Bossenforth. Not sure it'll be that bad. He looked to Mark 29. AT out the Tutsi armor playing. Fine piece of machinery, but they killed to have something like this at the Psalm. Bossenforth tilted her head to the side. Psalm? I'm guessing some ancient battle on Earth? Jack 9. First use of tanks in warfare. Nearly 100 years ago. I read about it in high school. He turned and looked to her. That's a human school for older teenagers. Bossenforth tilted her head down, staring at Jack over her muzzle. Really? I had no idea. A sigh came from Jack's mouth. He waved her off. Okay, that was dumb, I admit. He stood up straight and looked around, seeing a pair of smaller tanks racing about. It's just, I don't know, a bit odd being here in Equestria. Which makes no sense to me since I've been to Earth's moon, Mars, and even outside the solar system 3 times. Bossenforth rubbed her chin. Maybe because while there, you're still in your own galaxy, and homes are transported chopped away. But here's the Rainbow Bridge, and you're still sort of on Earth. A smile crossed Jack's face, humming somewhere over the rainbow. Getting a curious look from Bossenforth. Old movie song, he said, waving her off. He checked his watch. Well, debriefing in 15 minutes. Still on for the motor portal of our cruise at 1800? Bossenforth nodded, a smirk playing at the edge of the unicorn's mouth. I think our drivers are developing a bit of rivalry. Should be fun to watch. Jack hesitated for a moment before shaking his head. If by fun you mean butting heads like buffalo? Sure. Everfree Forest, outside Ponyville, New Equestria. 4 days later. Celestia planted her hose apart and leaned forward slightly. Twilight stood beside her. They were floating by her side and bodyguards a short distance away. Several dozen ponies stood at the outskirts, near the path that led back to Ponyville. Some were in the industrial habits of the town, but most were new foals. Humans changed their superior body form. Some held out signs reading Celestia for Empress, or something along those lines. Celestia had waved to them, but they all dropped to the ground, bowing. She didn't mind it, though she had not done what she did for admiration, but for their benefit. Still, Empress Celestia had a nice ring to it. Perhaps after this new Earth was conquered. She went to Twilight, who swung the mirror around to float right in front of her. Celestia reached out with her horn and touched us. It rippled, functionally showing the human female from before, now known as a few more feelings to be named Megan Richards. She was walking around the backyard, holding one of the obscene devices to her ear and chatting away. A thin smile formed on Celestia's lips. You'll thank me for this, she muttered. The image rotated, focusing on the hole in the sky. She closed her eyes and grunted, summoning all the reserves of power. Her entire horn was wreathed in golden energy as a strong wind kicked up, scattering sighs and snapping branches off. Twilight swayed a bit. One of the bodyguards reached out, saying her. Celestia paid it no mind as her coruscating field of energy formed a few inches in front of her horn, expanding and forming a new barrier. When lethal Celestia soon found herself in the backyard, Megan scrambling away from her. She touched down on the ground and smiled. Fear not, Megan Richards. I have come to save you from yourself and your current human body in reliance on technology and science. Her horn glowed slightly, and a bigger rainbow-colored liquid popped into existence. Please, accept my gift, my new friend.